Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Video number 2 today, because I missed yesterday. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Marchman Act and whether or not you can file your own Marchman Act. Do you need a lawyer? And the answer, I guess the very basic, simple answer is no. I mean, you could go down to the courthouse and file this thing yourself, but I've got a list of questions that you probably should ask yourself if you're going to do this. These are not in any particular order, but just as they came to me. So number one, you need to know what are the criteria. What's the criteria for a Marchman Act? Okay. Can you prove those criteria in court? How many parts are there to the Marchman Act? There are 2 parts to Marchman Act, right? Assessment, stabilization, and treatment. Well, how many different ways can you initiate assessment? Emergency, non-emergency. One requires a hearing, one doesn't. What's the burden of proof at this stage? Well, reasonable basis, right? If you get an emergency pickup, order issued, how do you get the person actually picked up? Where are they going to? Do you get to choose where they go to? Does it matter which county you're in? How do you know which county even to file this thing in? Does it matter if they're a resident? Does it matter if they're a citizen? Does it matter if they're even in the state of Florida? Well, let's say we get through all of these things, right? And we get to the treatment services hearing. I mean, are you familiar with the rules of evidence, the rules of procedure, substantive law? By the way, the burden of proof is now clear and convincing evidence, so it's a little higher. Who needs to testify? Qualified professional, other civilian witnesses. Oh, and by the way, your loved one, they're going to get appointed a lawyer, so they will have a lawyer and you won't. Does that put you at a distinct disadvantage? I think that it probably does. But let's say you get through all of that, you even get a treatment services order issued, and now your loved one is non-compliant. Well, how do you enforce the court order? What's the sanction for them non-complying? What happens if they need more than 90 days? In my office, most of our Marchman Act cases go, the minimum is 3 months, but as a general rule, they go 6 months. How do you get it extended? How do you get past that? How do you go longer than 6 months? The longest one in our office, I think, is at least 2 years. I had a young man from another state. I had him under Marchman Act for 2 years. So, these are all things that you should probably ask yourself. And if you think that you can handle this, if you think you can do this, then yeah, go down to the courthouse and do it yourself. But I think that's a difficult road. And if you get it wrong, now you've tipped your loved one's hand, and they'll be on the lookout when you finally do hire a lawyer to get it, and get it right. And again, one thing that really is really important, you got to know which county you're in, because there are some counties in Florida that are absolutely terrible at doing these things, and I will not file a Marchman Act. In that case, I'm probably going to file for guardianship. And if you think filing for a Marchman Act on your own is difficult, try doing a guardianship. They're tough, okay? You really need a lawyer for those things. They're very complicated, and there's multiple petitions that have to be filed. So anyway, with that said, I appreciate you tuning in. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.